Hey folks, it's another edition of You and the Tube Sports with your boy Zach in Miami. What's going on? Hope all is well with you and everyone going on in your life. But back to the sports stuff, back to the good stuff, back to the exciting stuff. Let's start this week with a nice outlook on what's going on in Major League Baseball. It's going to be All-Star break in a few days, and the All-Star teams are announced. Obviously, every year some snubs. Obviously, every year people not getting on the team, but in this case, this year, it should be an exciting game in Pac-Bell Park in San Francisco. Let's look at the American League roster real quick. The starters, Ivan Rodriguez in his 14th All-Star game. Obviously, he's a perennial guy in this game. He's going to make this game because no other big-name catchers are in the American League, or not many to it. You know, Victor Martinez, he's going to be on the bench, and Jorge Posada having a great year. Now, Jorge Posada probably should have been the starter in this game. A lot of New Yorkers not going to be happy about that, but your starter at the catcher position, Ivan Rodriguez, Jorge Posada, and Victor Martinez are your backups. First base, the big puppy, David Ortiz, having another monster year. He's in his 4th All-Star game this year with Boston Red Sox. Justin Morneau, last year's MVP in the AL, is going to be on the bench for that team too. He got hurt a little bit in the season against my Florida Marlins, but he is now going to be the backup in the All-Star game. Second base, Plaxico Polanco from Detroit. He's having a monster year as well. It's his first All-Star game. He deserves to be in this game because he's not a big-name guy in the American League at that position at second base. Not too many great guys at that position. Not even a guy on the bench playing second base for this All-Star team. Obviously, everyone's favorite shortstop, Derek Jeter from the New York Yankees. He's going to be making his 8th appearance in the All-Star game. On the bench for the shortstop position, Carlos Guillen and Michael Young, Texas Rangers. So that position pretty loaded for that AL team. Third base, obviously, A-Rod. He's iffy for the game. I think he will play in the game. He's not going to be in the home run derby, but you kind of knew that was going to happen as well. Mike Lowell from the Boston Red Sox, old Florida Marlin. He'll be the backup at the third base position for the AL All-Star team. Let's look at the outfield for the AL. Vladimir Guerrero, guy that normally is going to be in this game. He's an unbelievable hitter. He could pretty much golf swing any ball right out of the ballpark. Maglio Ordonez maybe having the best season in the American League. If A-Rod doesn't end up with about 90 home runs, Maglio should get that AL MVP. He's hitting close to 400. He's up there in hits, RBIs, everywhere on the board. He definitely deserved this MVP, or does deserve the MVP right now at the midway point for the AL if you don't want to give it to A-Rod. Lots of A-Rod haters out there. Suzuki, Ichiro Suzuki. He's the other outfielder in the starting lineup for your AL All-Star team. Carl Crawford, Torrey Hunter, Manny Ramirez, Alex Rios, and Grady Sizemore, who's my first second-round pick in my fantasy baseball league. He's going to be also for the AL All-Star team as well. Pitching staff, that's where they're kind of loaded because of a couple, an ex-Marlin right on the top, Josh Beckett, having a monster season. John Lackey also going to be in the game. Johan Santana, one of the best in the league, not in just the American League, but in the entire major leagues. He's up there as well. Justin Verlander, CC Sabathia having an unbelievable season as well. Dan Herron from the Oakland A's having a great year also. Gil Maish, Justin Papelbon, Francisco Rodriguez, J.J. Putz, Bobby Jenks, and Okujama. He was the voted for the AL. So that AL team loaded like always, but really they call the AL the major league of the major leagues, and they call the NL the second string guys because there's much better hitters and pitchers in the American League. But on to the National League. The starter at catcher in his first All-Star game for the NL, Russell Martin, the LA Dodgers. Brian McCann going to back him up from the Atlanta Braves, but Russell Martin's a great story. He's having a good year, and he's deserving of that catcher position. Paul LaDuca, a lot of other name guys not going to make the game, but he probably should have made this game as a starter, Russell Martin. At first base, Prince Fielder, normally this position dedicated to Albert Pujols, but Prince Fielder going to get it. Albert Pujols, Derek Lee going to come off the bench for the American League, and they're pretty loaded at that position. Chase Utley's going to have second base as the starter position for the National League. Orlando Hudson, Freddie Sanchez, who was a questionable pick, but every team's got to have a player in there also at second base. Third base, David Wright from the Mets, and shortstop Jose Reyes from the Mets. Two guys that are going to have that position for a very long time. Backing them up is Miguel Cabrera, who probably should be the starter, not to be a homer, but probably should be the starter over David Wright at that third base position. And J.J. Hardy from the Milwaukee Brewers having a great year too, the backup at shortstop. Outfielders, starters, Carlos Beltran, maybe should be there. Ken Griffey Jr. having a good year. And the guy that we're going to talk about later on in the show too, Barry Bonds, the starter for the National League. A lot of votes in those last couple days for him, so it should be interesting to see how that whole thing goes as part in the All-Star game. Welcome back to You and the Tube Sports, your boy Zach from Miami. Like I said before in the second segment of this video cast this week, we're going to talk about the guy that made the All-Star game, that the biggest emotional anything is going to be about for this weekend, whatever you want to call it, for the All-Star break. It's Barry Bonds. Does he deserve to be there or not? Should he have been there or not? And everything going around with him. Well, folks, I'm going to take the pro side of Barry Bonds for a second, then I'll take the negative side. The pro side is he's never failed the test. He's up there for this home run record, which is the most prestigious there is in all the sports. And the commissioner and the guy he's going to break his record, Hank Aaron, and Bud Selig, the commissioner, both not saying they're going to be at the game. I think it's wrong because Bud Selig is a commissioner. Whatever's going on, if he's not suspended for something, he didn't get in trouble for anything yet, why are you taking the wrong side with him? He's about to break the biggest record there is for your sport. Bud Selig, wake up. Get to this game. Get to the ones before it. Don't be an idiot. It's the biggest record there is in baseball, and you're not going to be there. You know this is going to look in 50 years for you? I know you probably don't care. But what about the fans out there in San Francisco and the fans that are pro Barry Bonds around the country? It's stupid. And Hank Aaron, get off your mighty high horse. I know you don't want to be totally with this Barry Bonds thing, him breaking the record, but the fact of the matter is that he's going to break the record. When he first came out and he was a skinny little toothpick, guess what, folks? He was still hitting the ball pretty well. Was he hitting the ball 500 feet? No, not really, so I'll give you that. Maybe he's on those berries and juices. But let me tell you something, folks. He's still one of the best baseball players we'll ever see in my generation. Now, I know Mickey Mantle's up there. I know Willie Mays is up there. I know all those guys from the past are up there, and that's fine. Everyone's got their generation guy. But right now, he's one of our generation guys. Barry Bonds, 751 home runs right now. To this time, I'm videotaping this video cast. He's 4 away from breaking, 4 away from tying, 5 away from breaking. If he breaks this record, folks, we should celebrate it and not throw steroid needles and stuff like that onto the field. It's stupid. Now let me take the negative side for a second. This guy's a jerk to the media. This guy's a jerk to the fans. He doesn't care what you say. He's scandalous. He's all over the place. Why should we celebrate it? Why? There's no point. But let me tell you, folks, you need to. I'm trying to be negative, but I can't. This guy's a jerk and he's nasty. He's not a good, but he's best baseball player in our generation. He really is. I can tell you how bad I think he's on steroids. The guy's gained 40 pounds of muscle. He's been better in his 40s than he was in his 30s. That is unheard of. No one's ever done that before. No one has ever done that before. But he has never failed the test. I'm trying to be negative, folks, but I'm just going to give my point of view. He's never failed the test, so I give him that. But he's a jerk. I know that. But he's about to break the biggest record ever. I'm telling you right now, he's about to break the record that we're going to be talking about, and our kids and our grandkids and my grandkids are going to be talking about forever. So the way I look at it, let's celebrate it. Should he be in the All-Star game? Absolutely. It's in Pac Bell Park. Let him be in there. He doesn't want to be in the Home Run Derby, which is not, it doesn't make me too happy because it would have been nice to see him in there. But you still got to put him in. What if this is his last All-Star game? You put him in there, you let him ride to glory. No one is getting in trouble for these steroids unless they're coming out and admitting it or failing these tests. That's fine. But the guys that haven't failed the test, give them the benefit of the doubt for right now. So every time a guy hits 5 hits or hits 4 home runs or gets 2 triples in a game, we don't go, is that guy on juice? That's what's making baseball bad, folks. I'm not a big baseball fan. Ask anyone that knows me. It's my least favorite sport. But it's sad to see what's happened to it and what's happened with this Barry Bonds situation. If he's a cheater, he's a cheater. We'll leave it at that. But honestly, celebrate it while it's here. Be happy for it. If you don't like Bonds, that's fine. That's fine. But like the fact that he's about to break the best record of baseball, the one we all talk about. NFL talk coming soon. AFC, NFC talk. I'm excited. Training camps are opening. We'll try to get as much information as we can here on You and the Tube Sports. Send back your video stuff. We want to see it. We want to see you ripping me, agreeing with me, doing whatever you want. I'm an idiot sometimes, but mainly, I'm a genius. I'll speak to you soon. Zach from Miami. You and the Tube video, the sports stuff, baby. Start that again where I said the Zach stuff. Well, that's another edition of You and the Tube Sports, folks. Zach from Miami will be back next week with you. Lots more talk, all the NFL stuff I talked about before. We're going to go into the training camp stuff. We're going to get into the AFC, the NFC. We're going to talk to a lot of guys. We're going to talk to Jason Cole, Mike Florio, guys like that. From Mike Florio's from ProFootballTalk.com, Jason Cole's from Yahoo Sports, 2 good buddies of mine. We'll get there and take on some stuff. We'll get their inside stuff, too. We'll be back next week. Stay tuned, folks. I'm out.